Hi there, Flat Cap Chef here. Today I'm going to show you how to make crepes, pancakes in the UK, and I'll tell you the difference in a minute. So to do this I'm going to use buckwheat flour, and that's quite an interesting one because buckwheat flour isn't in fact flour in a sense. It's not grain or cereal, it's actually plant-based. It's actually related to the rhubarb family and it's ground up seeds. So it's more a brown colour, it's got some good minerals in it. It's also, because it's not wheat based, it's gluten free. So anyone with gluten intolerance, this is perfect for you. So here we go. If you were doing this, if you wanted to make sort of UK pancakes, instead of the buckwheat, you just use plain flour. All-purpose flour, I think it's called. So you just plain flour. This is really easy. Just going to make the batter now. I like to leave it to rest for about half an hour, I think, and then give it another whisk up, which just makes it a little bit lighter. But you can use it straight away, so there's no problem. So I've got my 100 grams, which is just under 4 ounces of buckwheat flour. I've got some salt. Just going to put a little twist of salt in. Salt is there just to lift the flavour a little bit, so because they can be a little bit dull otherwise, so not too much salt. I've got 2 eggs. Just plop them in. Don't need to worry about mixing them before. Straight in there. And then I've got 300 ml, 10 fluid ounces. I think it's half a cup in American measures of just normal milk. It's best to use half or full fat milk. Fully skimmed zero is a little bit light for this. So what we use, you're using a whisk, you can use an electric beater if you want. I'm just going to incorporate this together. If you do it slowly to start with, then you don't get a big cloud of flour everywhere. But pretty quickly it'll come together. So you can see, put it off the edges. And once I've got this kind of initial, it's almost like a paste at this point. You can see the colour, so it's actually darker than it would be if it was plain flour. And then I'm going to add another 1/3 of that milk. Give that a whisk together. So you can see you're going to have enough here to make, I'm going to say, because they're quite thin crepes, about 6, maybe even 8. But certainly good 6 we make for this. Good old whisk up. The buckwheat comes together pretty quickly. The remainder of the milk goes in, thins it down, leave it reasonably gentle. Just going to go light so it gets the bubbles coming to the surface. And there we are. Don't have to do more than that. I'm going to leave this now in the bowl for about 30 minutes in my case, or you could use it straight away, in which case just pour it back into your jug and you'll be able to then use it to pour out. And then we'll be back to make the crepes very soon. Okay, so I'm just going to give my batter a quick freshen up with the whisk. Then we'll pour it into the jug. This makes it easier to pour your pancakes out. There we go. Right, so I've now heated my saucepan. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of butter, about the same of oil, to get the first one going. There we go. Wait for the butter to stop foaming. And then I'm going to pour and swirl. You can swirl quite quickly because it will actually set. So I'm going to pour about enough to cover about 1/3 of the, about half of the pan. Then I'm going to give it a quick swirl around. There we go. And drop it down. Let this cook. Now, first pancake in is kind of chef's pancake because it's always the worst one because you're heating the pan up. you end up with always a little bit too much oil and butter in there, so it's never the best pancake, but no. So the second one, all you do is add about half a teaspoon of butter to the pan for each of the crepes that you're actually going to create. So crepe, pancake, in this case they are crepes. So I'm going to leave this for about, it's going to be probably around about a minute. I've got my slice here, because I'm not going to do the throwing it in the air. So I'll just ease the edges down. If you want to make it easier, don't tip it all the way to the edge on one edge, and you can slide your slice underneath. It makes your flipping a little bit easier. I just check it, so have a little look at what's going on. That looks like it's done. So straight up, there we go. So this one's browned nicely. So I'm going to put this one onto a plate. And I'm actually going to cook the second one for you to show you, because this one's a little bit thick, because the first one tends to be that way, as I've said. You want your crepe to be thin. So here we go. That is cooked. Take that out, put that to one side, and then I'm going to add just a small amount more, no more than half a teaspoon of butter into the pan, no more oil, quick swirl around, pick it up ready to turn it. I'm going to put about a third in this time, and this will give you a much thinner crepe. There we go. See holes start to appear, that's okay. Just if you swirl it around a little bit, you'll fill in the holes with the loose liquid on the top. You can use your little spatula as well, sorry, your slice as well if you want to, just to move it around. Now, if you're making a savoury pancake, what you do is you would do this and then you'd flip it over and you'd put your filling in at that point, because that will melt any cheese you've got, cook the ingredients, and then just fold it over, and there you have your savoury pancake. But I'll do that in a separate video at some point. This one is what I'm going to do, just a traditional, as far as I'm concerned, with lemon juice and sugar. But you could do chocolate spread. It's very common in France. Or you could do savoury ones like mushroom with sherry and a little bit of bacon in there. Or you could just do a simple ham and cheese. So here we go. That's now going to be ready. Flip over, much thinner, which is the way a crepe should be. And this will take another probably 30 seconds to cook. You can take it out of the slice, but as I'll show you, you can actually just slide it out of the pan, kind of pour it out, and you can see there's still a lot of liquid left here, mixture batter, so there's going to be at least enough to do the 6 to 8 that I talked about, as long as you don't make them too thick. So just check this edge now. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we take this out, and literally you can just slide it onto your plate. And there we have it. A crepe. Couldn't be simpler. If you want to see more, then just subscribe to the channel, and you'll get updates when I publish, which is 2 or 3 times a week usually. Otherwise, the website www.fatcapchef.com, all one word, where we're trying to keep as much in there content-wise as we can. Be back soon.